Hey BPC, on this video, I am going to show you guys how to forward a domain to your capture page. Now, this could be a page that already has a domain, which I am going to show you guys because it's actually going to be my hook item capture page, only because we're going to start really pushing the fact that we get you guys booked on podcasts, which right now is a huge platform. Every Thursday, as a Book Profits Club member, we send you at least 2 podcasts that have said, yes, we want to interview your members. And so I am going to create a new domain that's going to say get booked to speak or something like that, and then change it from the old capture page. Now, little disclaimer, because you guys know that I've always used 10kbook.com, I'm still going to make sure that that domain, because it's on hundreds of different shows, I want to make sure that that domain still forwards to the old capture page. But the primary link is going to be the new domain that I purchased. So as we know, we always want to have a radio ready domain. This is something that's easy to spell, no hyphens, no dashes. And also, if, for example, let's say there's a domain and .com is not available, but they say .org is. If this is something that you know that you're going to be promoting like on a radio or a podcast, and people have to remember it, like most people are used to going to .com. So if you go to that .com and that .com page actually has like somebody else's capture page, you may lose a lead. So I try my best to get a domain that is going to be .com, unless, like, for example, let's say I'm doing a training on AI, then I might get a domain that's website.ai or something like that. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and look at it. And so what I want is a domain that's going to say something like getting booked to speak. So get booked on stages is what I'm going to look for. Getbookedonstages.com and see if it's available. So it is not available. It is already taken. So they'll try to give you other options. So you see right here, getbookedonstages.org. No, I'm not going to do that because somebody already is using getbookedonstages.com. So let's go ahead and see if we can do something else. How to speak on more stages. How to speak on more stages.com. How to speak on more stages.com. That's available. How to speak, and let me make sure I spelled it right, yeah. How to speak on more stages.com. I love it. So now I'm going to go ahead and purchase the domain. And now once we purchase the domain for 1 year, we're not going to select any of the other options that GoDaddy tries to get us to do. They'll try to get you to buy website hosting. You don't need none of that. You're going to purchase it right here. So another thing is too, guys, so no domain protection. I use my P.O. box. It's an old P.O. box, by the way. I don't even have it anymore. But for my address, I use a P.O. box. So that is what pulls up free domain privacy. You can use the free thing right here, but don't pay for anything else. Now, if you are going to be using this as your primary company email, you can go ahead and get the email address. Okay. But we're just going to go ahead and do just like so. Now, another thing I also want to add to is in the BPC system, guys, you can purchase your domain. Now, I always say it like this. For domains, I like to have my domains under GoDaddy, even though we do give you the option, which makes it a little bit easier for you. As you can see, there's my P.O. box. But I recommend purchase your domain separately, because if you do ever decide for whatever reason, child, not that we want you to leave, that you're going to leave, then you lose your domains. And so you want to, at least the domain is like one of the most important things. It's kind of like having your TV show. You know, Dave Chappelle, as an example, Dave Chappelle, his name was trademarked, so he can't call any of his new shows or shows that he wanted to do the Dave Chappelle show. And so when we are building a brand of domains, you want to make sure that you own the domain. So even if you decide to use something else, not that I want you guys to leave, I'm being very transparent here, you at least need to own your domain. Okay, so how to get booked, how to get on more stages.com. So now what we want to do is we're going to forward this to a domain that is already to a capture page that's already active. So let me go into my sub account, and I am going to go to that capture page that I'm referencing. All right, and while that's pulling that up, we're going to go to GoDaddy because I want to go to the domain. Okay, so let's go to sites. And again, I am going to go to the 10K book. So let me find that actual capture page. Here it is, my 10K book masterclass. And as you can see right now, the domain says www.10kbook.com. So I want to change this. So what I'm going to do is click on this wheel, that is the settings wheel. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. You want to click on settings up here. You want to click on settings because we're changing the domain for the entire page. So settings up here, we're going to go to settings. And then what I want to do is I'm going to go here where it says domain. I want to remove it. You see that? Remove. So I'm going to remove the domain. Now, make sure that you stay logged into your GoDaddy account, okay? As long as you're logged into your GoDaddy account, it can help you. I don't know why it keeps doing this, but let me just go to GoDaddy. I'm logged in. And then what we want to do is we now want to add a domain. So we're going to click add domain. And I'm going to click connect a domain. And I want to connect it to a funnel. Now, these are all different things. You see right here, email. You can connect a domain to your email as well so that people, when they're replying back, you need to make sure this is done. Your branded domain. All these things are important, but we're just going to go right here to the funnel and website builder. By the way, quick disclaimer, guys, if you do not know how to do anything in the software, there are multiple ways for help. One of the ways is every Monday through Friday, 4 hours, BPC system at bookprofitsclub.com. Our tech support is live. You can send an email to our tech support and then follow up with the message on Telegram. Hey, I sent you an email. Make sure you tag our tech support, Amna, or whoever else is there, AMNA. You want to do the @ and then type their name. I sent you an email. Just so that they know, right? Even though she looks at her email every single day, but for 4 hours, she's available to respond back. Now, if it is something you actually want for her to do for you, we have 3 different tiers. Each task is anywhere between $25, $50, or $75. Guys, you will not get that anywhere else where they will do it for you for a very small investment, right? Now, if you're like, okay, I want to try to figure it out myself, we have a Book Profits Club YouTube page. We also have right here on the left-hand side, we have the BPC system training, which teaches you how to get your stuff set up. Also up here on the top right-hand side, if you click on this eye, you can also do a lot of stuff right here. So watch this. I'm going to search for domain. And when I search for domain and click enter, look, set up root domains, subdomains, how to add multiple domains in email services, how to set up your white label domain, how to brand system. Everything about domains is going to be right here. So guys, make sure to please check out. We have a ton of support available that literally there should be no way that you cannot figure it out. But no worries, let's get into this. So we're going to go ahead and again, remove that domain. And now what we want to do, I'm going to go ahead and click save. And so we're going to add the new domain. All right. And when we click on add domain, we're going to click on connect a domain. And remember, we want to, let me do it again, only because it probably refreshed because I deleted the domain. So we want to click on funnel website store, which this means for any of the different things. You can create all these different items individually within the system. And now we're going to type in that new domain that we created, which I forgot that quick. I think it's an easy domain to remember though, but of course it's new for me. So let me go over here to the domains and we're going to say stage, right? Okay, here we go. How to speak on morestages.com. So we're going to now forward this and we're going to do it without the www. But this is what happens. When you click on without, it's going to say, I also want to add www. Yes. Say yes, you want to add that. So now if somebody does it with or without, it will automatically go to the page. You're going to click continue. And now because I'm logged into GoDaddy, it should automatically connect to GoDaddy, or you might have to say approve or things like that. Now, it did not, as you can see. And so then what you have to do is very simple. You're going to click on add record manually, okay? And all you need to do is add these to the domain. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, a lot of times when you get a new domain, it will also forward to like a coming soon page, which is probably what's keeping it from being able to register. So I'm going to click on, so I went into what I did in GoDaddy. Let me just show you. So we're going to go back to the fresh page. So we purchased the domain. Then what we want to do is on where our name is or the name of our account, you're going to click on that and you're going to click on My Products. Then when you click on My Products on the left-hand side, you're going to see Manage Products, Domains, Hosting, etc., etc. Right now it pops up the domains, but if it didn't, you can click Domains. But I'm going to click on Manage All. Manage All. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to type stages. How to speak on more stages. Here it is. So now I'm going to click on this to open up the domain. Then what I want to do is go to DNS. DNS. Under DNS, you see right here where it has this first line that says @parked. I'm going to delete that. And then also where it says CNAME, www, how to speak on more stages.com. This is why it's doing that. And so I'm going to delete that as well. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and click on delete. Now what we want to do is add those two lines that it said over here. And it tells you record is A or C name. So the record type is an A type. The @ is the host and required value. So I'm just going to copy this right here because the rest of them are drop down. So we're going to go back to GoDaddy. I'm going to click on add new record. Remember, it is an A and then @. Well, this isn't drop down, but it's an @ sign. Then you're going to paste in that value. You're going to leave it at a half an hour for this TTL. Then you're going to go back and you're going to do the second line. This is a record called CNAME. You're going to put www and then you're going to copy this. So just click on this icon, which copies it. So copy. We're going to add one more record. Remember, this is CNAME. We're going to type www and then we're going to paste in what we just copied. And now what you're going to do is click Save All Records. And so that's going to save. It should not take a long time. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click back and you're going to click Add Record manually. Now you might have to wait for a minute or two, but so if it's still saying like error, just go back and then click it again once you know for sure if it's saved, okay? Then we're going to click Verify Records. And so now it's going to go and look into GoDaddy to make sure that those two lines have been added to that domain. All right, so let's wait for that to happen. Okay, you guys, so it took me a couple of times. I paused it, so I had to, like it kept saying double error and all that, but I knew that I had added the line. So again, I had to back out and then just kind of refresh it. So now it is connected. And so this is what it'll say, yay, domain added successfully. Then all I need to do is make sure I connect it to that domain. That's the name of the domain, 10K Masterclass. I'm going to keep it that. And I'm going to connect it to the first page, which is the home page. Also, I'm going to click on additional options for this default 404. So if you've ever seen where there's like a default 404 page that'll pop up, it's because maybe somebody put the domain, like a forward domain to that. Like maybe it's howtospeakonmorestages.com/info. And that page is not really like a link. It'll then redirect them to the home page. So I always like to redirect them to that home page. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and click proceed to finish. And voila, this will be done. Now, remember, I just told you though, the 10kbook.com site, that was an old forward. I still want to make sure that it forwards to this page. Okay. So first, let's just go ahead and make sure that this domain is set up. Now, this could take up to 24 hours for it to connect. Okay. Now, if you use a different domain site outside of GoDaddy, I don't know anything about it. So don't ask me. I like GoDaddy, okay? But here's the website. Let's go ahead and see if it's forwarding. Hey, and it's ready to go. So now what I want to do, though, is I also want to forward the old domain now to the new domain. So just in case someone's watching an old podcast, an old broadcast or something, they will be forwarded here. So let's go back to GoDaddy. And this, again, is only for those of you guys who have an old domain that you were promoting, okay? So 10K book. All right, let's go ahead and forward this domain to that. Now, when I start getting interviewed and they say, Taria, how can we get in touch with you? I'm going to say, wonderful question. You're going to go to howtospeakonmorestages.com, howtospeakonmorestages.com. The still same goal though is helping authors to make $10,000, but I'm also paying attention to what's going on in the marketplace. So no problem. I'm not going to redo my entire business brand. My product or results that I'm offering is still the same. It's just how I market myself. When they say, well, how can we get in touch? It may shift. Now, GoDaddy is definitely taking its own time. Let me pause this. All right, awesome. So it's now opened up, and I'm going to click over here to DNS. And then what I want to do is I'm going to remove this right here, this www. We're going to remove that. We also want to remove that at, the at sign. So remember, so now I forwarded, let me just make sure. I'm going to go to forwarding. I have it forwarded to a couple of different links, which is fine. Okay, that's cool. So let's go back to DNS records. I want to make sure at sign, at. Okay, it's not showing anything. So we're going to go ahead and we should be good to go. So what I'm going to do is go to forward, because what I want to do is just simply forward that main domain to my new link. And so I'm just going to put this. I'm going to put the www dot how to speak on more stages. I'm going to change this HTTP to S. The S, HTTPS, which S stands for secured. Okay. And then you're going to click save. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a subdomain forward as well, where I'm going to go right here and click add forwarding, and I'm going to put www and put this and then HTTPS. So now when somebody puts www.10kbook, it also goes. So that has now fixed it so that the old domain will still forward to now the new domain. So that is how you set up your domain. Hopefully you enjoyed this, guys. We've got tons and tons of more training right here on this YouTube channel. Again, please take advantage of the resources and everything that's available. If you are watching this YouTube channel and you are not a BPC member, guess where you can go? howtospeakonmorestages.com. Just simply go to howtospeakonmorestages.com, and this will get you some more details of how you can be a part of the #1 community for authors who are speakers and coaches. God bless you all. Bye for now.